Hello everybody, Dibz here, and today we're going to be doing some viewer analysis of some Tracer gameplay. Now this is going to be a little bit different from my other analysis videos because this is from console, and it's actually going to be at the 3100 SR level, so this is going to be at Diamond, which is higher than I'm normally used to analyzing. So at this Diamond level, I'm going to be focusing mainly on the strategy of how to play Tracer and also working on positioning. Also, I feel like this match is a very good competitor for analysis because it's on a watch point at Gibraltar. Most of the submissions I've received for Tracer analysis have been on King of the Hill, and also most of the ones I've done on myself have also been on King of the Hill. And I kind of want to do something different, maybe do a payload map, and this is actually going to be a very good change of pace from what I'm used to. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at SOLEWD, and yeah, let's just get the game going. If you guys want to skip to the analysis, you can click on this link right here, but first I'm going to let the game run on its own so you see how it flows all together. Without anything further ado, here's the gameplay.
I shall seize the payload safely to its destination.
Sterben nicht.
There's no glory in a stalled payload.
No.
Drop the beat.
Get that payload moving. Payload.
Switching sides. Group up with me.
안녕.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Yeah!
Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield.
Ever get that feeling? Deja vu. Let's try that again.
Heal up.
I have found you. Come and face me.
The payload.
My ultimate charging. Healing in hand.
Ready for it? I'm on fire! Not really. Let's try that again. Looks like you need a timeout. Much better.
Thank you. This will help.
Ever get that feeling? Self-destruct secret. Back in the fight.
Earth Shatter, ready.
Heal up.
Pass into the iris.
And she's back in the game.
The payload has reached the
Time's up.
Behind you. Enemy contact.
Game on.
Whew. Back to work.
My ultimate is charging.
وديهم قوتك. نانوبوت.
My ultimate is almost ready.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Thanks. I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
should be a peak
You're going on
performance
my
level.
nice list.
Walk it off.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Whee! Nailed it. Time.
Double kill. Dive.
Thank
30
you.
seconds
My
remaining.
ultimate is charging. Tick tock. Win, gotta win. My ultimate is charging.
Ever get that feeling, Gibraltar?
10 seconds. With it.
My ultimate is charging.
I'm on fire.
Pass into the iris.
Winston reporting.
Sixty seconds remaining.
Ultimate ready.
Heal up. 30 seconds.
Keep fighting. Don't let him down.
Unacceptable.
Wait for me.
10 seconds.
Rendezvous at my position.
Overtime.
不许走。
My ultimate is charging.
Helden sterben nicht. Fire at will.
Pass into the
Round complete. Score 3-3. Switching sides. Five, four, three, two, one. Attack commencing. Escort the payload.
I shall seize a payload safely to its destination.
Ice wall coming up.
They have a teleport. Find and destroy it.
Right on side. 冻住，不许走。
My ultimate is charging.
Need to push the payload.
pass into the iris.
Helden sterben nicht.
Ho, ho, ho. Ever get that feeling, deja vu?
Overtime.
Gotcha. Enemy
My ultimate is charging.
Finals. 4-3. Victory.
All right, so let's get right down to the analysis. As you can see, SOLEWD has chosen to go on to the left side of the map and try to flank from behind here. This is a very common flank, but I actually do feel that it is still very good because it allows you to get behind the enemy very quickly. And most of the time, they don't really pay attention to this side. Sometimes they do, and when they do, it can be really hard. But if you actually catch them off guard, you can easily pick off the healers, and that is exactly what SOLEWD is doing. He's going after the Mercy. And that's actually a very, very good pick because if you do so, it allows you to not get the allows the Mercy not to get the res, and they have really low sustain compared to what you guys can do on damage wise. So picking off the Mercy is a very good move at first. Allows them to just push through, and yeah, and just not having the backup res allows you guys to just like pretty much steamroll them at the very beginning. That's a very good first move. But then, in my opinion, there are different ways you can actually get up to the top. You can actually go to this side right here. You can go directly above to where SOLEWD is right here. So if you see it, after he picks off the Mercy, there's another different way that you can go. It's a little bit faster, which is this bridge right over here. You can actually blink from the top level and get to here and go towards the back. The thing is, a lot of people tend to have like a McCree standing there or a Winston to get rid of flankers going that direction. It's a little bit faster and they can actually see you coming around, but you can actually get onto the top ledge and harass from there as well. So there's two different ways to get up top and harass, but I feel like it really depends on the positioning of the enemy team. You can see how they're positioned on top if you look at the very beginning of the spawn and figure out where you want to attack from. Just, you know, giving out tips on where you can attack from multiple angles, and instead of always attacking from the same area, because usually when I attack from back here, they have a McCree watching this side here as well, because it's very, very common actually. And they can sit there, wait for you, have a flash, and they could just get you right off the bat. And sometimes it's actually very difficult to do any damage from there. But anyways, let's move on. We got a double blink going into an ultimate. He actually got a soldier, which is very good, but I feel that it could have been a little bit better. Most of the time whenever I do a double blink into a big crowd, so you see a soldier here and you see like basically 2 healers and 4 people total, you normally want to be sticking the Reinhardt whenever you can, because it's really hard to stick these skinny targets. And if you actually do a double blink, he was a little bit too far off to the side. I know this is on console, it's a little bit hard, but it feels like the aim is actually pretty good. The tracking has been pretty good. I feel like I didn't actually realize it was on console until I saw a little bit of the tracking. But right here, if you moved a little bit more to the side and you got closer to the Reinhardt, look how close you are. Reinhardt's literally right there. If you actually stuck to Reinhardt, you could have gotten probably a triple kill right here, because most of the time a lot of the healers and DPS like to stick behind the Reinhardt for the shield. He is quote unquote somebody to be protective. They like to stick behind his shield and they think they're safe. So if you actually stick the Reinhardt, probably you were trying to do so, but if you actually got a little bit closer and you got it, it would have been a little bit better of a stick. And instead of getting 1 kill, you actually would have gotten the double kill on the healers and brought the Reinhardt very low to bring him down to his death. So that's a little bit better. One little mistake that you could have done better for positioning and target acquisition when it comes to your ultimate. But yeah, other than that, you got a soldier, which is pretty good, not too bad. Better than missing it totally. I'm actually a very this actually happens to me quite a bit. I do miss my pulse bombs every now and then. But yeah, anyways, going from a different angle, going from behind and jumping up to the higher level, which is very nice. Instead of going all the way around the long side to the back, you can jump towards, jump on that ledge, and you can jump up here. All right, doing a little bit of harass from a medium range, very nice. You don't have to jump right in whenever you don't really need to. I mean, there's really no point to if you're going to be focused down, and that's very good. Important to be safe. Whenever your team is pushing up, you push with them and not by yourself. It's kind of alright for you to be able to push up by yourself if you're completely safe and if you're not just dying every now and then, right? So he's doing a very good job staying alive. Could be using your ultimate a little bit more. There are a lot of times that you could have used your ultimate at that point, so a little bit too much on the ultimate conservation. So already at this point, you already got you're about 99% ultimate right here. What you can do is you can honestly just blink in and do what you did before, right? You can just blink in and you can either stick the Reinhardt or you can stick the soldier. It's really nice for you to stick the Reinhardt and then blink backwards to burst him down and then recall out of there whenever you can, because if you bring the shield down, the rest of your team can do all the damage. So if you think about it, there's one moment right there, there's another moment right there. You could have thrown your ultimate, and you could have thrown it right here as well too, because if you threw it down there, the Reinhardt would have been dead. And honestly, if you got him down a little bit earlier, you probably wouldn't have died from the soldier, because you would have had more cooldowns to get out of there. And yeah, I mean, I'm being very nitpicky about strategy and also picking off targets, but this is at least a little bit of a higher level, so I feel like it's very important for you to make those important decisions when it comes to picking out your targets and your ultimate usage. But yeah, anyways, so the enemy soldier popped the ultimate. It's good for you to kind of stay back, and at this point he is staying back because the rest of his team is spawning and there's nobody there to kind of support him, which is very smart. But about this, I feel that he could honestly be a little bit aggressive. At least poke and see what's going on, because right here you see there is a soldier and also a Roadhog on the point with the Reaper being here. You could go up the stairs here and kind of just poke from the top a little bit here and there and just go from the back and just kind of actually be annoying. You don't have to be super aggressive. And A lot of people like to be safe at this point. They don't like to push with their without their team, which is very important. It's actually very important for you to not do so because you don't want to get picked off. But the thing is, though, you don't have to actually be super aggressive when you're alone. You can be poking from the side and still survive. That's very important. That's why I feel like, you know, you don't have to be super aggressive. You can be effective at the same time without your team. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, you don't actually have to have your team be there with you, but you can be just basically a thorn on the back of your enemy's side without your team. But it's still a good move, though, to kind of be safe with the, and make sure that your team is there before you do anything. But I like to be a little bit more aggressive. You just got to be really careful and make sure you don't die when it happens. Good ultimate. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of a decent ultimate. Could have been a little bit better. Got just practice a little bit more with the ultimates. Stick would have been nice right there as well, especially with the Reinhardt. But good tracking, I feel like. So this tracking looks like it's actually not on the console. It feels like it looks like the tracking is actually on PC. It's pretty good tracking, I would say. Much better than I would be able to on console. Because console isn't really good for me. I'm not very good at using console. But strategy-wise, it should be about the same. So going after the Roadhog to try to gain your ultimate charge as fast as possible. And then throwing your ultimate in the middle of everybody is typically what I normally do as well. Backing out when your team is kind of lacking behind, which is good. Always want to be safe, backing up. Attacking the shield whenever you can, very nice. And also blinking away from the Roadhog hook. Normally Roadhogs like to hook you right away whenever they see you. So blinking right when you see him is pretty important. Alright, backing out. Don't want to be too close to the Reaper. It's a little bit dangerous at this point. But he might have been using his audio cues to kind of figure out where the Reaper was going. Because right here, if you go up closer, the Reaper honestly could have been standing right here waiting for you to come to the backside. So it's pretty dangerous. Instead of going straight right in front of the door and blinking like this, he could have actually killed you. I would have actually just gone to the backside and walked down the stairs. But they do have the rest of the team here kind of protecting him. So I think he might have actually... if you have noticed, there's no communication that we hear. There actually might be communication from a different type of a third-party program. I'm not too sure how it goes on console, but yeah. They were probably communicating with each other a lot more than what you hear. But anyways, yeah, the shield has been broken down. I'm going after the healers. I do feel... Yeah, he could have used his ultimate again. Definitely could have used his ultimate again on the Roadhog. In my opinion, what I would have done was right here. I would have dealt the damage. I would have actually stuck the Roadhog right here. Maybe burn him down. Or go after the Mercy and stick her first. Right here. You could actually just stuck her right here. That could have been a faster kill in my opinion. Because the faster you kill your opponents, the more damage that you can do for anybody else. So I feel like he's conserving his ultimate just a little bit too much. That's one thing that I feel like you should take a note of. Ultimate conservation. Since Tracer is one of the ones to gain the ultimate charge the fastest, you should use it almost every time it's up, unless you're conserving it for like a Zarya ult or a Reinhardt ult. Since you have it right here, you can pop it on tanks as well. So one thing I want to talk about is popping your ultimate on tanks. It's worth it to pop it on tanks if they're especially soloing you or trying to go one-on-one. If you actually took out this Reinhardt, you would be free to pretty much just go in and attack the Mercy and take her out as much as you can. That's typically what I do. It takes about one clip and also a stick on a Reinhardt to take him out, or another tank. So do that whenever you can, because you still have your ultimate for a long time. Could have been used a lot better. But I think I'm still gonna try to see if I can talk about more ultimate conservations, or where you can actually use it a little bit more, because it's actually very important. You don't want to be conserving as much as you can, and right there, it could have been done better again. Could have stuck the Mercy. But anyways, let's move on to something else rather than ultimate charge, because I don't want to be focusing on that all game. But that was actually good positioning, good reflexes by standing behind the shield. He actually, right here, right when it went down, the shield is blocking him. So it's very good to use the Reinhardt shield whenever you can to block ultimates onto yourself. Positioning is pretty good on this game, I feel like. Very, very nice. And right here as well, you hear the ultimate coming. So right there, you hear the soldier ultimate coming out. Good for you to stay behind. You don't have to be in there, especially when the Reinhardt or the soldier's using his ultimate. The auto aim is definitely going to pick you off very quickly. So stick onto the inside and get cover whenever you hear ultimates being put out. You don't really have to be out there dealing damage, especially when there's dangerous ultimates. And yeah, very good positioning. Good to be safe. You don't want to be dying as Tracer as much as you can. Alright, so you got an ultimate charge. Going in whenever your teammate puts his ultimate down, trying to deal as much damage as you can. Mercy did get a res off. Might have been better for you to stick on the Mercy at first, but I felt that the Mercy was a little bit out of position, or a little bit farther than the the soldier. I typically like to do that. I typically like to stick around to whatever targets are closest to me and take those out first, and then move on to other targets if they're kind of a little bit farther away, right? But overall, I think this is actually a pretty good game on a 10-player kill streak. Throwing your ultimate there, trying to stop people from coming out. I like to do that as well. Going after the Reinhardt, trying to take him out. Target acquisition, going for the weak targets. Good job. Going after the D.Va, making sure you're trying to get the D.Va out of the mech. Not able to do so. But if you actually do notice, you can get rid of the D.Va right before she gets out of her, or right before she gets in. So if she's actually still in the process of getting into her mech, if you actually aim at her in the early stages of her calling down the mech, you can actually take her out. So it's very good for him to try to do so. It's really tough though, because you have to be pretty good at aiming and trying to get aiming at the body rather than the mech itself. Alright, so I think the rest of the game is just kind of just steamrolling the rest of the team. But yeah, I feel like the main point of the first round is to use your ultimate a little bit more. Your positioning was good, tracking was very good as well. And yeah, just take that from the first round. They had like how much? They had like a minute and a half left. How much was it? How much was it? 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute and 9. Pretty good overall. A good amount of time to push the second time around. And yeah, but we'll see what he does on defense and see how he does. We're on to round 2, and SOLEWD has decided to still play Tracer on defense. Now, I feel like on Gibraltar, Tracer can be really good because of the fact that there's multiple levels here, and she can zip in and out and back and forth and annoy the enemy team. So right there, being very, very safe when it comes to dealing with the offensive team is super important when you're playing Tracer, because you don't want to die right off the bat. There's a Roadhog here and also a Reinhardt. You can get instantly hooked, and if you get picked off, then your effectiveness as Tracer just goes down the drain like crazy. So he even blinks once, or he actually blinks twice to get out of there, which is very, very smart, I feel like. Most of the time when Tracers get picked off, you're literally out of the game for a good 20 seconds, so you can try to get back in. Yeah, being safe is super important. So very good by him. Doing a recall because he took the fire strike to the face. I feel like instead of recalling, he could have waited around here because he's behind the enemy he's behind the Reinhardt shield, and there's a healer right next to him. He could have actually let the Ana heal him so then they can gain ultimate charge. You didn't really have to waste a recall because you're safe. It's very good for your team because then it allows you to make them build up the ultimate charge. So there's kind of a wasted of a recall right there, being a little bit too safe. But it's good to be better. It's better to be a little bit more safe than not, right? But I feel like it could have been used a little bit better. But anyway, going on to the backside, dealing damage to the Zenyatta, spraying him down first, going after the healers first, very important as well. You always want to be going a cheeky teabag as well. You always want to be going for the healers, taking them out as much as possible. So Zenyatta is a very good candidate because of the fact that he's kind of like round. He's not very super skinny like Mercy, and he's not very fast moving like Lucio. So Zenyatta is actually a pretty easy target to take out, and one of the ones that you should be taking out first because of the fact that he can make your teams very squishy by getting the discords off. All right, doing the blink. Very, very good. So reloading after every blink, very good as well, because it makes you a harder target to hit, and using that time when you blink to reload, very, very nice, instead of just wasting your time and not blinking or doing anything. Okay. So one thing I want to talk about is right here. So you hear the Roadhog behind you. There were actually steps on the stairs for the Roadhog, and it's very dangerous to turn your back towards the Roadhog. I think Roadhog is one of the ones that I would be focusing on first, because because of one, it allows you to gain your ultimate charge, and he's a very dangerous target to you. If you get hooked right here, you're pretty much dead. Reaper is dangerous to you as well, but only if he's close. I feel that Roadhog does have a lot of range, and is somebody that you should be taking out as soon as possible. Not a good stick, but good ultimate that you ended up getting a kill on. Could have been better, definitely. Oof. Okay, that was close. Getting rid of the Tracer as much as possible. Tracer on Tracer battle. Taking her out after she used her recall. You can pretty much chase her down after the recall is down from the enemy Tracer, because you know that she doesn't have any escapability, and you can be as aggressive as you want as long as you have the better aim. That's very nice. And right there, doing a preemptive blink on the Roadhog, because you know that most of the time whenever a Roadhog sees you, he will try to hook you right away. So if you want to do a preemptive dodge or a preemptive blink, it allows you to escape most of the hooks at this level. Usually at around the Masters level, people or Roadhogs start to conserve their hooks before they start to conserve their hooks. So whenever you until you use your ultimate, or until you use your blinks. And then that's actually where it gets a little bit more tricky and difficult to go against Roadhogs. Alright, sting from top. Getting picked off. Could be using your positioning a little bit better. I wouldn't be out in the open right here. I would be more onto the side so you can dodge your dodge the Roadhog hooks. So I would be actually right here on the side left, right next to the wall. So then you can peek left and right and get cover back and forth, back and forth. Because if you're out here in the open, you can't actually do that. You can't use the wall for cover. And you're going to have to continuously use your blinks, which is kind of bad, making yourself waste your cooldowns instead of just using a wall. You don't necessarily have to use your blinks whenever you want to use or you want to dodge attacks. Peeking out behind corners is also a very effective way to use your to save your cooldowns. Is what I was trying to say. You could have thrown your ultimate there as well. Well, that was decently pretty good. Alright, getting back in. Going from the top right here is very nice as well. Not going to the front. Going towards the top, especially when there's health packs up here, you can make use of the health pack. Going after the Reaper, who's also going after your soldier. Target acquisition, very good. Going against the Reinhardt because he's low and he doesn't have any healing on him because of the Anna Grenade. You always want to try to finish off people who have Anna Grenades on them from your team. The thing is, if you are attacking them and they don't have any healing possible because of your Anna Grenade, it makes them a lot more easy to pick off. That's pretty much it. Whenever there's an Anna Grenade on the enemy team, choose the squishiest targets to pick off, and then just finish them off. I feel like Tracer does have the most trouble picking off targets if they have healing on them, and if the Anna on your team is getting grenades on the enemy team, it's a very, very good signal for you to go after those targets. All right, so he's cleaning up here. Actually doing a pretty good move here. This is what I like to do whenever the team is not completely team wiped, but then the team is kind of like pushed back. You get a better position on them and you try to pick off any people who are going on their own. So you got a Tracer here behind you. One blink. All right, so a recall. So at this point, when it's Tracer versus Tracer, whenever the Tracer does her recall, she pretty much doesn't have anything to save herself. So it's very nice for you to, whenever she uses her recall, to be super aggressive. The thing is, though, you just want to be careful not to run or chase her around the corner, because then the Tracer can be waiting around the corner and basically baiting you into headshots. So just be very careful whenever you're chasing a Tracer. But usually whoever uses the recall first is the one that loses. And if you can actually snap to the position where the enemy Tracer uses a recall, you can do a lot of damage right off the start. So it's very good for you to do that. Alright, coming up top, going after the weak target. Could have gotten hooked right there, very dangerous, but yeah. I mean, there's nothing you could have done, honestly, because you were going after the Reaper. I felt that if I actually got the Reaper, I would have just dove out of there right away, because it's very dangerous for you to be there with an Ana and also a Roadhog. They can take you out pretty easily if you get a hook. But yeah, well, I mean, he took advantage of it, so I can't say anything wrong about that. Alright, so taking out the enemy team again with an right hand ult. Doing very good at taking him out. And there's a Tracer being sneaky here. See, so this is what happens if you're a little bit too safe as a Tracer. The other enemy Tracer can track you down and take you out if you're just sitting around doing nothing. So I felt like the enemy Tracer could have just been zipping around the backside of our lines, or his lines, and it would have been better, more effective. But he's doing another good job sticking around the backside, trying to harass, trying to slow them down as much as possible. You don't necessarily have to get any kills, but the fact that you're present in their backlines is super important as Tracer. You can pretty much just like a fly, like buzzing around. Like I said, you don't have to kill anybody. You just be dealing damage from afar. Alright, he's taking the higher level. I see a Zenyatta, so going after the Zenyatta, very good as well. Prime target, number 1, but getting slept off, and I think he's gonna die. Yep, he's gonna die here. But well, he was distracting them. See, the thing is, you don't actually have to kill anybody. You just gotta distract them enough so they're not paying attention to the rest of your team. And because he was doing so, the D.Va on their team got a double kill on both the healers, and that's very good. It just shows you, you know, kills aren't super important as Tracer, but it's very, very nice for you to do so. It's just a plus. Okay, that's kind of what I like to do too. So whenever a Roadhog is popping his healing on himself, you don't want to be using your ultimate first on him. You want to be bursting him down. So right now you see the Roadhog using his vaping, I guess is what you would say. You would normally want to unload a clip into his head as much as possible and then throw your ultimate, because if you throw your ultimate first, the thing is his healing is going to go through and his health would be a little bit higher than a little bit more than what your ultimate would be able to take him out of. So if you burst him down a little bit and then throw your ultimate and then recall out of there, he won't have enough life after vaping in order to survive your ultimate. But if you throw your ultimate first, he can still have a little bit life left, but then if you come back the next time, he will be done using his healing, and then he can actually hook you right after the bat. So you always want to be bursting him down and then popping your ultimate, because then there is no gap in which he can hook you because he's busy using his healing. But if you actually burst him down first and then throw your ultimate down, you can be out of there in time and do the burst damage without having a risk of being hooked, right? So you always see me do that. Whenever I see a Roadhog using his healing, I usually just spray him down and then pop my ulti. I never do it the other way around, because if you come back, he can look at you and he can just hook you right away when you're busy spraying him down. So you always want the big amount of burst damage for Roadhog at least to be at the very end when he's healing himself, not at the very beginning. Very good move. So sticking up here again on the top, trying to see who's going after or who's coming from which direction. Making the Tracer waste her recall a little bit. Doesn't know exactly where she's being attacked from. Being annoying to the other enemy Tracer is very good too, because it allows them to not be as effective as you are on your team. Going after the healer. Staying away from the Reinhardt because he's ultimated. Oh, okay. So actually, I think he was a little bit too distracted by the enemy team. He honestly could have been on the payload and making sure that nobody was on it. So it's kind of hard because I think he didn't really have the map, not map awareness, but then any information on whether the enemy team was on the payload. Let's see. If you stick right, actually, yeah. See a Tracer going onto the payload. Yeah, he could have actually been zipping onto the payload right here, because you see two people pushing it right now. If he actually contested, I actually wouldn't have been able to get into the end. So as Tracer, you always want to stay on the payload if the rest of your team is not on it. So nobody was on it. He was pretty much the only one around here. And if you can contest as much as possible, as Tracer, you can save the game, I would say. He could have stopped it right there. So positioning, he was out of position a little bit, too aggressive a little bit on defense. You don't want to be too aggressive on defense. It's good for you to kind of like hang back sometimes, especially when it's overtime, and just contest as long as possible. Alright, so they're pushing up. He's got his ultimate still. Poking in and out, not being too aggressive. Very good. You don't want to be diving in and dying too much. And right here, conserving his ultimate. Could have used it on the Reinhardt, because once the Reinhardt's turning around to block the D.Va ult, it leaves them open to your ultimate as well. Still conserving your ultimate a little bit too much, I would say again. Going to the back line. Doesn't look like there's much going on here at the moment. Alright, so yeah, okay. Reactions could be a little bit quicker. You saw that the D.Va was booping the Reaper a little bit closer to you. You could have honestly just recalled out of there or just blink backwards. So keep your distance away from Reaper whenever he's popping his ultimate. I think that was just like I don't know, like a brain fart, I guess. So they're at 15 seconds until overtime. Looks like they're pushing it. I feel like if he was actually surviving, if he survived that, he would have been able to hold it right here as well. So it's very important for you to just not die to those kind of things. Yeah, now they're just going to steamroll in. It's just pretty much just going to be a free round for them. I felt like there's a lot of those things that could have been avoided. But yeah, trying to contest as much as possible. Blinking around, being annoying. Throwing your ultimate on the Ana could have been a perfect timing right there. So right here, you don't even have to get a stick on the Ana. You can literally just throw it on the ground right next to where you are, because the Ana is really close to the payload. What I like to do normally is, if I'm right here at this point, you can just throw it on the ground, like around this area at the bottom of the payload. Because most of the time, in order to contest, you have to be next to the payload. Obviously, you have to be on it. And then usually the team is running around, spinning around in circles, trying to contest as long as possible. And you have a really high chance of getting kills if people, especially if healers, they're trying to pay attention to healing the enemy team. It's really hard for them to look on the ground and be like, oh, there's a pulse bomb there, I should avoid it. You know, they're very distracted. And I feel like throwing it on the payload is very, very nice. But you ended up sticking it directly on the payload. I would rather drop it on the ground, because if you actually drop it on the ground, there is no blockage of the payload. It's because it basically goes through the ground, and then it hits everything on the opposite sides of the payload, even if they are on the opposite side of the payload. Because the thing is, if you drop it onto the payload itself, the payload blocks from an angle. So let's say the payload is right here, you drop it on this side, everything on the opposite side of the payload doesn't get hit because the payload itself is blocking it. But if you drop it on the ground, there's actually space below the payload, and the damage goes through the bottom of the payload and hits people on the other side if they're actually closer on it. So whenever you're contesting a payload or planning to throw an ultimate on the payload, throw it on the ground. Don't ever throw it on the payload itself. There'll be blockage damage, or there'll be blockage from it. So that's another tip that I have. But yeah, they are able to tie it up, making it 209. Is it 209 or is it 109? I think that drops the time. They get an extra minute, right? So it's 3 minutes. 209. 109, 209. Oh yeah, because then that's weird though. I thought I remember them getting extra time because they were at 0. So they get. All right, so now we're on the 3rd round, and SOLEWD is on defense once again as Tracer. So usually when you have more time to win, you are usually on defense first. But yeah, let's see what happens. He's on the same side as normal, and there's a Reaper this time instead of 2 tanks. And he's dealing damage from afar, which is what you always want to be doing against the Reaper. But he did kind of dip out a little bit early, in my opinion. I feel that if you keep your range, like medium range, towards the Reaper, you can actually take him out faster than he can take you out. You just don't want to get too close, and you have more skippability than the Reaper. So he could have been a little bit more aggressive here, I feel like. Just don't get too close to him. If you stay medium range, you can get a pretty good clip on him, and you can take him out from medium range, in my opinion. So right now it's a little bit too far still. Yeah, I think he should have stuck around and taken out the Reaper. It could have been pretty much a free kill, or you could have stalled him a lot longer, in my opinion. Because of course you also have a health pack right next to you. It's a little bit too defensive, in my opinion. But taking two shots from a Mei, taking a lot of damage. It sucks. I really hate going against Meis because they can one-shot you. It's a little bit scary. It's pretty much like a Hanzo, right? Hanzo can one-shot you as well. Sticking around the backside, staying pretty safe, relatively safe as Tracer. Double blinking away. Going after the Zenyatta whenever you can. I feel like he could have dived in. He could have dove in a little bit at that point right here. And let's see. Where was it? So at this point right here. So you're going after the Mei, and you see a Zenyatta. He's pretty low on health right there. You could dive in because you have 2 blinks. You could have dove in, and you could have gone to the back, gotten the kill on the Zenyatta, and then just recall out and be safe again. So just be a little bit more aggressive if you can. A little bit too defensive on defense. It's kind of a fine line to figure out whether or not you want to be defensive or offensive. It's good to be a little bit aggressive sometimes, but you don't want to be too aggressive to the point where you're constantly dying. So you just got to be aggressive, but be safe about it. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so going back into battle. So this is why I like Tracer on defense. You can blink right in whenever you can. Be very quick about it too. And going from the top, which is very nice as well. Since nobody on this team is really contesting, there's only one person. Going from the top, going from a different angle, trying to kill the Reaper. Right, following him down. Yep, definitely always want to chase the Reaper whenever he uses his phase shift ability or his Wraith form, because most of the time they don't even turn around. Most of the time they just keep going forward, and it's pretty much a free kill at this level, at least. Going towards the back. Should definitely be going after the Mercy first instead of the Winston. But, ooh, got an ultimate. Got 3 ultimates. Okay, so that's a pretty good stick right there. Definitely a good ultimate by him. And yeah, I think that's going to be play of the game right there. So, yeah, I think overall, yeah, I think that was a pretty good finish right there. That was a very, very good finish. Their team did use 3 ultimates for that. There was a Hammer Down by the Reinhardt. There was a Zarya ultimate, and also there was a Tracer ultimate. 3 ultimates by the team. You honestly didn't really need to use the ultimate from the Tracer, but I felt that since you were contesting at the very end, might as well have just done it, right? So, but yeah, just be a little bit more aggressive on picking off healers whenever you can. Be a little bit less timid when you're playing on defense, I feel like. So that's what you can take away from this round. All right, so we're on to the last round where they're on attack. So SOLEWD is also going towards this side again. I think he did pretty well last time, so he chose to go to the same way again. It's no problem. Definitely not a problem. All right, they're going to the back, checking to see. Oh, they're not on top anymore. They're actually on the bottom, which is pretty surprising because this is like he can pretty much do a lot of damage here as Tracer since everybody's kind of grouped up together, and they're usually whenever they're grouped up on top right here. Tracer basically has to go up the stairs, and they can all look in one direction and take her out. But if you're actually down here and holding it, Tracer can zip around and deal a lot more harassing from different angles over here. And even so, I feel like if you're Tracer, you can actually go up the stairs. You can shoot from the top and make it an easier time instead of just coming down here and dealing damage. So you could have had a better position. You could have just gone up the stairs and just shot from on top, which you're doing right now. But I just felt that if you did a little bit earlier, you would have gonna be able to get more kills. So right here, target acquisition, going for the Zenyatta first. At first, he was going after the Symmetra, which is very important. You always want to get rid of the Symmetra whenever you can, because of the fact that she can have a teleporter up. And getting rid of the teleporter is more important than getting rid of a healer, in my personal opinion. Or not allowing her to build it up is really important, because it's pretty much like a free res if you take get a teleporter up. And going after the healer again. Very, very nice. Getting rid of the Mercy. Good job. Very, very nice. Going after the teleporter. All right, so this is actually pretty good. That's what I would normally do. because of the fact that if you think about it, a teleporter is an ultimate, or basically like a res. If you take out the Symmetra teleporter with your ultimate, it's kind of like canceling out a res for the enemy team. And the thing is, when it comes to teleporters, they've gotten buffed now. They have 400 life, and it's really hard for you to take them out. You would literally be here for about 3 seconds because you have to shoot one, which is 1 second. You have to unload and shoot again. So you need 2 full clips to kill a teleporter because of the buff. And if you stay around here for too long, you're going to get picked off. So what I normally like to do is, if it's in, like very deep into a crowded area, because right here, if you look back right here, there's a lot of people here. They can come back and easily just take you out super quickly. So if you need to get in, deal your amount of damage, and just back out right away, it's actually worth it to pop your ultimate in there for the teleporter. Always a really good choice to do it. And now they don't have a teleporter anymore. It's a very, very good job. Allows your team to push up, and they don't have a good shot to kind of regather with each other. Right here, being a little bit inefficient. So yeah, right here, so if you see a Mercy, if you think about it, after killing the teleporter and recalling out, right, there are a few things he could have done. He could have stuck around here, be a little bit annoying, but since he can't really do much since there's a Mei ultimate, what you should do here instead of going up here, what you should do is actually go towards the back, right here. So instead of making a right, you go left, because you know you killed the Mercy a while ago. The Mercy is respawning, and she's going to be coming back alone, since you picked her off at the very beginning by herself, remember? So keeping track of who died first and who died alone is also very important, because you know who's coming back, who's tracking on by themselves. And you can make it a one-on-one. You can take her out again and just be really annoying and just stop people coming back and getting back into the battle. You see me do that sometimes, like whenever my team is kind of like gathering back up again, or whenever the enemy team is walking back, I like to stick around their spawn and just like annoy the hell out of them and try to kill them. Cause see, so this Mercy was literally by herself. If you actually got towards the back earlier, you would have been able to kill her, and she wouldn't be back into the battle right now. So whenever the enemy team, or whenever one of the teams is trying to group up together and there's nothing going on, go towards the back of the enemy sidelines and get rid of as many solo trackers, or solo, what is it? Trailers. They're called trailers. That's right. So get rid of trailers as much as possible whenever you can. So going after this Zenyatta. And I missed this. Yeah, I missed right here. So right here, you're low. You're at 74 life. Instead of diving in here, you're pretty much half health. It's really dangerous for you, because the Zenyatta can actually one-shot you. His balls do 40 damage, and a headshot on you would pretty much just kill you instantly. So you don't want to be diving in whenever you're at half health. I would have actually gone towards the right, towards the backside into the server room, got the health pack in there, because there's a health pack in that server room, and then come back out to deal the damage. So don't dive in whenever you're only at half health. Always want to be going into a battle, having your cooldowns up, and also being at full life. I mean, you could be at 150, 145 or 150, but I would say, you know, try not to go in when you're weak. It's very dangerous. Oh, you got some Symmetra ball to the face. Recalling to gain the health again. You could have honestly just blinked back out, got the Ana to charge, or to heal, get a free charge by healing you. Going from the backside, good job. Getting rid of the Symmetra turrets. I feel that Tracer should be getting rid of the Symmetra turrets whenever she can. So look at that. If you see the Symmetra turrets on the ground, they're pretty much just like zapping away freely. There's one and there's two. All you have to do is just flick, take them out really quickly, and the Symmetra, that's basically where a lot of the Symmetra's damage is coming from. And also it doesn't allow her to get the teleporter or shield generator up really quickly. So since I feel that Tracer can move in and out very quickly, she should be, it's very easy for her to get rid of the Symmetra turrets actually. But yeah, holy crap, there's a lot of Symmetra turrets. Yeah, definitely really annoying to deal with. Alright, so throw it in there. Yep, okay, well. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Got both of the healers as well as a teleporter. Always good to throw it in there when there are people coming out of the teleporter. Right? If you have multiple people coming out of the teleporter, throwing your grenade there will pretty much just like, I'm not a guarantee, but it's a very high chance that you'll get a kill. Especially when the rest of your team is going on there. So I do like this as well. He's switching targets, so instead of going after the Reinhardt, he knows that the Reinhardt is being taken care of by the D.Va, right? So if you look at it, the Reinhardt is pretty low on health right now. The D.Va can easily finish him off. So he sees the Mei going through here, and you're taking rid of the Mei, or getting rid of the Mei, so then the Mei can't get back onto the payload, throw her ultimate or whatever. She can't slow them down, right? So the thing is, you don't always necessarily have to tunnel vision on a single target. If your teammate is already taking care of that target, let them take care of it and get rid of the more important target that's coming through the backside or trying to get onto the point. So switching targets is also very important when it comes to playing Tracer. yeah, you don't necessarily always have to go after one target. But if it's like, let's say if it's a healer, I feel like it would be really more beneficial to go after the healer because it's a, it could be a possible res that they can get onto the point. But since it's a Mei, the Mei can cause a lot of trouble, especially when it's trying to contest at the very end of the payload. So I feel like that was a very, very smart move. Switching targets, knowing when to switch off, and go after the more important target. Target acquisition, was it target priority more like, is very, very important when it comes to a Tracer. But yeah, he got the, let's see, 62 eliminations, pretty good. I feel like his aim is very good. Tracking is also very important when it comes to playing Tracer. If you can get that down, most of the strategic stuff just comes with practice. I guess practice just comes with tracking as well. But yeah, a very good game overall. Almost got gold damage done as Tracer. You always want to be doing a lot of eliminations, and 42% weapon accuracy. That's very, very good on console. I probably wouldn't be anywhere near that, especially when it comes to console. And yeah, but that's gonna be about it for this one. I would say I'm pretty happy about that analysis video. He did very, very well in my opinion. His tracking was very good. His mechanics are very, very good. His mechanics are very on point actually. But the only thing that I really want to talk about is using your ultimate a little bit more. He gains it really, really fast. Tracer is one of the ones that gain their ultimate a lot faster. So pop it on anybody that's close by to you whenever you can. Don't feel like you have to conserve it, especially if you don't have a Zarya on your team. I think the first round you didn't have a Zarya, and it basically just toss it as much as you can whenever you get it. And then if you have a Zarya on your team, just make sure that they don't have their ultimate up when you pop yours. Communicate with your team. If they're not having their ultimate really soon, just pop it, and by the next time, or by the time that the Zarya has her ultimate up, you can probably get yours in the same time. Other than that, positioning could have been a little bit better. Going after healers in the back is very important. You did that a lot. I like that. And be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to dealing with Reaper. Reaper is very dangerous when you're up close, but if you're at medium range and your aim, based on what I see, your aim is very good. So if you're sticking in medium range, you can take out Reapers pretty easily. So don't be too afraid to take out targets, and don't be afraid to use your blinks aggressively to get in and pick off targets. The thing is, if your recall is up, you can easily double blink in, try to finish off a target, and then if you can't, and if you feel like you're about to die, just recall out. Right, so be a little bit more aggressive on defense, I feel like, but just be a little bit smart. That's how you be smart when you're aggressive on defense and without dying. Just don't die, and I feel like your reaction time is very good as well. So yeah, just be a little bit more aggressive while you're on defense. And I think that's about it. Post bomb positioning is pretty good. I think so. I think I might have missed something, but I was just trying to recap, so it's better for you. But yeah, that's going to be about it for this one. Give a round of applause for SOLEWD. He did a very, very good job with this game. A different type of analysis video, especially at this level, and also on Gibraltar. I feel like it's a very... I liked it a lot. It allows people to kind of figure out how to attack on this map. A lot of people had questions on it. There are multiple different ways to attack, and especially on defense as well, gives you a different type of view on how Tracer can be played. But yeah, if you guys feel like you want to submit your own, feel free to do so at dibsgaming@hotmail.com. I typically like to do a higher quality video, so at least 720p. I would appreciate 1080 if you can, but if it's higher level, I would more likely do it as well. If it's higher quality, I'll most likely do it as well. But yeah, just want to say thanks for watching, guys, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.